Yeah, fine. What would you like?
I
We can go back to the pod. No, let's sit here. Sit here? Yeah. What do you want? I don't know. I like a cold drink actually.
Hi, it's Saturday afternoon, the day after I did the punter to the Duke of Monmouth video, and although it's sunny, it's been cloudy most of the day and there's a fairly chilly breeze. So that's a sort of combination that has brought a lot of people outside, but I think is also going to encourage them to go into museums and other such places. So I've started outside the University Museum, and I'm going to do a walk round the city centre and just ask what are people doing today. And I've got myself set up at a table there with a nice cappuccino and a Swedish bun. And the cappuccino is made by Horsebox Coffee, who I mentioned with approval several times last year. When the weather's good enough, it's nice to buy one of their coffees and sit outside the University Museum. But of course, for the latter part of last year, that wasn't really such a nice idea. And as I say, the good weather has brought a lot of people outside. Some of them are probably just enjoying the sun. That chap might well be taking his degree, because they have degree ceremonies on Saturdays. In which case perhaps his family are in Oxford and he's invited them to see some of the sights. And a lot of these people are obviously also seeing the sights. The lawn is busier than I've seen it for a long time. This is the Horsebox Coffee Company. If they follow previous form, they'll also have a van outside the Ashmolean. I think this one ran for all or most of the year, while the Ashmolean one closed in the winter because they found it too cold. I mentioned the Pitt Rivers Museum when I videoed the Iraqi Women and War art exhibition in the old fire station a few days ago. One of the exhibitors had cut up a plastic raincoat into various pieces representing different aspects or different times of her life, and had collaged on the pieces, and one piece had a label or two or a piece of notepaper or some such headed paper marked Pitt Rivers I think it was just marked Pitt Rivers, and I thought that probably wasn't a coincidence, probably related to Colonel Pitt Rivers' role in colonialism and in, some would say plundering other places of the objects that are now displayed in the Pitt Rivers Museum. The museum, the Pitt Rivers Museum, is at the back. The rest of this museum holds such things as dinosaur skeletons, what they call a whale aisle, which is rather splendid. It's about 5 whale skeletons hanging from the ceiling, one after the other. And those are not small things. And then there are displays of insects, birds, all sorts of other forms, and probably the last dodo the last dodo soft tissue in the world. So let me get back to the table before somebody nabs my rucksack. Well, I've had my coffee, which has woken me up rather usefully, and I've also taken about 10 minutes static video of the comings and goings on the lawn, and I'll see how that works. I'm going to leave the museum area now. This is what used to be the science library, the Radcliffe Science Library of the university, and most of it has now been turned into Reuben College, which is an organisation that I know very little about. Now, I'm on Parks Road now, and I think this is one of the most pleasant parts of the city centre, partly because of its leafiness and the old stonework. So let's walk down and admire that. Most of that is the university science area, a mix of buildings of wildly different ages and styles.
Bro, I'm literally going up there, bro.
And I'm not the only one doing a tour. We have these tour buses regularly throughout the year, open-topped buses. And somebody's waving at me from the bus. Thank you. Now this is summer term. University terms, Oxford University terms are 8 weeks long, and the students have to be up in Oxford a few days before the first week starts, and some will stay around for a bit after the last week ends. It is now, I think it's probably now third week, so more or less the middle of term. Students in their second year probably won't be working quite as hard as those in the other two. Many subjects have big exams at the end of the first year, and a lot of the subjects have finals at the end of the third. But the second year has traditionally been regarded, or the summer of the second year has traditionally been regarded as a little bit freer for activities like punting. That's not to say students don't do those things in the other years too, just that they may feel they've got a bit more time. Or at least that's how it used to be. I don't know whether the advent of ridiculously expensive university fees and other such things has changed this. One thing that hasn't gone away is university balls, ball in the formal sense of dressing up in ball gowns and dinner suits and so on, and that may well be for a ball happening tonight, the marquee and decoration. I can see what looks like a banana plant up against the gates, and those students will have paid lots of money for the tickets. I'm not sure what the going rate is at the moment. I think it's about £400, £400 for a ball ticket. And they'll probably start with drinks, maybe in the college bar or a local pub or somewhere, just to get in the mood, and then have more together with the formal ball dinner and just party through the night. For balls, you're probably not too far off if you just think of Brideshead Revisited, even though it was set a long time ago. No. I don't think anyone would mistake me for one of those. I'm holding a phone, which isn't unusual these days. On the other hand, those people are a bit more soberly dressed than I am. But I think what I've done is to stumble into the back of a degree procession. It'll be a group of students from one college going to the Sheldonian Theatre to take degrees, to be graduated, basically. And this happens. They've got a lot of colleges to fit in, so it's a pretty closely timed organisation that goes on from 9 or 9:30 to 5 o'clock, and you can see them going over there. I don't think I have any complete videos of degree ceremonies because it's impossible for me to get onto the grounds unless I'm not sure whether even friends or relatives are permitted. But I do have a video of matriculation, which is when students are formally admitted to the university, and in some ways that's similar. This is the King's Arms, which I've featured in several videos, and it looks as though groups that have already been graduated are going there to celebrate. Celebrate noisily. So we have groups of students from various colleges and possibly friends and family thereof filling a lot of the pavement space. We also have loads of tourists, not surprisingly. And I suppose I shouldn't complain since, in a virtual sense, sort of, I'm one of them. And then we just have normal everyday people, if there are any left in Oxford, doing their shopping. And there's another tour bus. These steps are always occupied when it's nice weather like this. This is the so-called Western Library, part of the Bodleian, and there's a cafe and exhibition area through there. These steps are usually occupied too, a bit less so today for some reason. We have formally organised tour groups as well as just groups of friends. Can't quite read that. Intersight, I think it says on the banner, on the flag. Pennant. And I came round here deliberately to see whether there would be lots of tourists taking pictures of the Bridge of Sighs, which there are. These are university Bulldogs. And the bowler hat is traditional, unchanged since the childhood of every student here. I wouldn't be surprised if that rather grim-looking man is a security official of some type too.
I think Centre House is nice.
They really, really don't want people who are not graduating on the grounds at this time, although normally there's no objection. And I think those people are also wearing bowler hats, the ones up against the Sheldonian. Just to say, Oxford University people have done an awful lot of stuff since the university was founded, and a lot of it is too complicated for anybody who isn't an expert to understand. But one thing that everyone can understand is comets, and Sir Edmund Halley of Halley's comet fame lived in the house just by the yellow and green tree. This is the quadrangle of the old Bodleian Library. And there's an even chance that I'll stumble over somebody sitting on the steps as I go out. The legends above almost all of these rooms are in Latin, apart from that one. And I'm pretty sure the shop isn't there anyway, since it's now by the Western Library that I pointed out. It's like the old Punch cartoon about a Chinese restaurant which has elaborate banners hanging from the ceiling in beautiful Chinese calligraphy handwriting, except for the sign above the till which says cash register in English. I did that just in case it's a visiting Pope or some other dignitary, in which case I can sell the photograph later. mentioned that Oxford and Oxfordshire have art weeks. In Oxford, Art Week is celebrated by exhibitors. They all display their wares during the same week. Generally display Art Week banners outside the house or whatever it is that's holding the exhibits. And a big catalogue gets printed with all the details, of each exhibitor, name, address, type of art and so on, shown. This says Art Week, so I presume it's part of Art Week, but much more elaborately advertised than most. And the types of art are in French, but they're intended to be understood, so it's not very difficult French. Poetry, painting, sculpture, and music. And it says revival along the top, but it doesn't say what this is in aid of, whether it's part of the official Art Week, or most importantly, why one has to pay for it. £8 a day, £16 a week sounds quite steep, but maybe there's a lot going on that they're not mentioning here. I can't scan the QR code while I'm videoing. This is the University Church, and I don't know what the bells mean. I don't think it's a peal of bells in the sense of change ringing, because each one is the same as the last. It might be some sort of memorial. Maybe somebody famous has died, or there's a particular... I don't think it would be a Saint's Day on Saturday, but maybe. That is All Souls College over there with its elaborate skyline. This is Oxford High Street, and I'm now on the other side of the University Church. This is the... Well, I didn't go down here, so I won't say the other end. It's the other end of this street that I was in when I passed the Old Bodleian up there. There's another graduand, a student who is graduating. Oxford has several red phone boxes left. And for all you Americans out there, I'm sorry that I can't do a thatched cottage too, not in the middle of the city. These are the main bus stops taking people to villages, London, airports and so on. This is the Queen's Lane Coffee House, which claims to be the oldest established coffee house in Europe and to have served the best Turkish coffee since 1654. This is an advertisement for one of the colleges, St Edmund's Hall, and here are a few of the people who were here. Maybe you recognise the one bottom left. For people who don't know it, who don't live in Britain, it's Keir Starmer. And what do we have? This is another pro-Palestine, pro-Gaza demonstration. And given how strict colleges are about their own internal discipline, I think this must have been held with the full agreement of the college. This is Magdalen. It's the college where the choir singers gather to sing in the dawn and sing in the spring at 6 o'clock every May the 1st.
They've got a sunny spotlight. Maybe we join them. Can't see no clubhouse though. But yeah.
People will also be entering Magdalen for guided tours around its garden. And there is always a crowd round here in good weather, partly for the ice creams and partly because you can hire punts. Notice the sign, boats hire.
And just get a single soft serve.
That is a punt. I think the river will actually hold that number of people.
And then we'll have another 20 minutes later.
And now I pass from the sublime to the ridiculous, but I do need to eat, so I'm going to go into Sainsbury's. So that was just a quick look at some of the things that people are doing on Saturday afternoon in a sunny Oxford. See you next time.